Hello, everyone. It's Audrey with Audrey's Variety Show. Um, a very late uploading and recording of the anime day for Saturday, as a lot of stuff is going on. A lot of business to take care of, and really, more importantly, I've been spending some time with God, and I've been having a wonderful time receiving revelations from Him and things that I want that he wants me to to do and learn. And most of it has been confidence in the things of God that I know. I uploaded a video. I need to do a part two of that video here on the channel. But I apologize for being late. So we're going to do double portions, double portions of To Your Eternity and Idolish. So buckle up. Let's go. Okay, so I'm getting ahead of myself because Idolish was good these past two episodes, but let's stay informed. Let's stay in order. We got a good order going. So, To Your Eternity, um, episode six, I think it is. I think yes, I think it's episode six we on right now. Let me look at this. But yeah, so essentially, Fushi rejects Heisei's descendants, Kohaku or Kohaku. I'm thinking Inuyasha, but it's something like that. Anyway, he rejects his offer because he realizes, like, I'm glad that Fushi is finally getting some wherewithal about himself. Like, he's assuming another person's body or spirit, essentially. So of course, he runs off and essentially vomits behind this tent at the mere thought of this proposal because Heisei is the one and this boy is in her likeness of of the thought of a marriage or a union between these two or falling in love with these two, and he realizes that. And the boy, I'm going to keep calling him Kohaku, apologizes for that. And Bond comes in and is like, "Hey, you stay your A away from him because we don't need this right now. We got other stuff to be talking about." So Bond has been continued to be the voice of reasons thus far in this episode. And so he's all like, "Stay away from him." Boy apologizes, and they move on, to the next city to be on their quest for these knockers, and essentially their little, I don't want to say cult, but they're following of Fushi and all of this because I think the how I say people are the cult. So Fushi is feeling some type of way about all of this, and we cut to the scene where he's in town and this woman from the church approaches him and I like, look, Prince Bond is in danger because he's hanging around with you, and y'all starting this new religion or this new following with what y'all going on and claiming to be a miracle worker, right? And and Fushi doesn't like this information. Like he doesn't, as we already know, he doesn't want anyone else to pay for his existence or being, or have anything bad happen to his friends. And so he goes to handle the situation. The church wants him to prove whether or not he is of a benevolent force or a demonic force, really, a god or a devil in this particular series. And so, God, Fushi goes before this crowd of people and essentially attempts to raise this dead cleric or church member. Whoever it was, a prominent uh, guy within this religion, and he does this, and it's just a puppet body, a hollow shell of a body, and they're all like, "See, he's of the devil. He can't raise people back up from the dead." So essentially, he's in prison, and so is Bond and uh, Toho. I forget the girl dressed as a boy. They get thrown in this jail in prison, and Fushi is essentially tortured to death, with them putting him in this iron box and pouring hot lava, liquid, whatever, in there, and he's essentially, burning to death and regenerating 1,000 times over. And Black Cloak guy is all like, very interesting. Like, you are a little sadistic with this. And that's essentially the episode of episode 6, I believe. I think it's episode 6. But episode 7, we get a little bit more of Bond's personality and reasoning behind the things in which he's doing. Because in the next episode, uh, Fushi is essentially, uh, mastering and regenerating himself long enough to escape the prison. That's what's going on with Fushi. That's kind of a sidebar. But anyways, so Bond is held captive along with this other little boy who's held captive, um, who's starving to death, and because he stole bread, and he's really just there to show how terrible this church people are, and they're sitting there in the prison and waiting to be released. And while this is going on, Bond essentially is hold on, let me read this. Let me start put down. I think I'm going all over the place. Okay, so yes, episode 7, 7, 8, whichever one it is. They um, Bond has a good understanding of religion and how church people work, because it is he points out the fact that whether or not he confesses or not, they're still going to persecute and vilify Fushi, because they see him as a threat regardless, whether he's a benevolent force or demonic, whatever the case may be. Um, he's a threat to what they believe. So they're going to essentially make him uh, a villain regardless. It's better off of him being a a demon or a devil, that rather than a malevolent force, because it's easier for them to classify him and dismiss him, and it poses no threat to what they believe in their religion and their hierarchy over the people and the power which they have to do what they're doing to people, like the little boy in the cell who all he did was steal some bread because he was hungry, like the boy pencil thin about to die of starvation. But and Bond sees that his mother has already passed. I mean, we could have guessed that. We didn't need to see it, but uh Bond makes the ultimate fact sacrifice in this episode, um of choosing to say that Fushi is not a devil, and I'm going to die without for I believe, because he's sitting there having he's contemplating as he's been in this cell only with bread and water for a couple of, I think, like almost 2 months. He was in the cell for like 2 months, but Fushi does come back uh, to rescue Bond before he decides to not make the sacrifice. But he's all like, "No, you go ahead, because this is going to continue unless they have someone to punish." So he sacrifices himself, and Fushi saves Toto and the little boy. And that was essentially episode 7 of To Your Eternity. And I don't know what's going to happen next. I'm a little surprised that Bond, even though I didn't really care for the character, uh, he did kind of redeem himself a little bit in my book, but you know, uh, well, eh, whatever. But we'll see what happens next episode with that. All right. Idolish. Idolish 7. Okay. Now, I'm doing 2 episodes, so I know this video is probably going to be rather longer than the other ones, but let's get into it. So, where we left off, so Tamaki and Soko were going to go to his daddy's house so he can confront his parents. And these episodes were, look, it was so good. I'm kind of glad that I watched these back to back instead of, because I would have been like, what's going to happen next? But let me calm down, okay? Let me calm down. So, episode 22. A lot happened in this episode. Sogo and Tamaki are so adorable. Their relationship is very relatable to me with how they fight. Uh, Tamaki is concerned with and confused with like, why are you going back to, these to your family and whatnot, and not understanding that, we all know that people are more than one, no more multifaceted. But Tamaki is kind of concerned about his friend, like, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why you're acting this way. I'm like, this is foreign to me. And that can, and when you're friends, and your friend is kind of acting out of character, you're like, well, what's going on? This is how you usually act. And then so goes on, like, did you not even read what I said? You don't even were you even listening or paying attention to when I told you why I'm doing this? And a lot of the times, a lot of the reasons why people are doing what they're doing is out of concern for the other. It's just it's kind of relationship 101. But anyway, then we're gonna cut to my other favorite. All my favorite characters were in this episode, but now my other favorite character, Momo. I love Momo. Okay, shows up in this episode, and Momo was taking Zool and their bull to task. Okay, he was not playing games today with them. So Rivale and Zool are together at the TV station, right? Recording, a special TV special or TV spot, whatever you want to call it. And Zool was trying to, act like essentially jackasses and not say much of anything, and that's supposed to be cool. Like, you being unpleasant is or being disagreeable is cool to some people. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But anyways, uh, what's his name? He's the main one I don't like. The pretty boy of the Zool group. He's like he wasn't intimidated or threatened by Momo and their group and Virali, which is okay, whatever. You think you big and bad, and he attempts to threaten them, and Momo's all like, "Oh, you want to threaten people? I got your threat right here." This is why I love Momo. He's like, you're not fixing to play this game. You're not fixing to be, threatening my friend. But yeah, so once that little altercation happens, Momo also tells him, like, look, this little stuff you're doing right here, we're here to do our job. And our job is to make people happy. So this stuff right here that you're doing is about the stupidest thing that y'all can do. Now, we can carry this show, or you can get some act right. So I love that whole that whole interaction. I loved it all so much because if I had to be honest with you, I think like out of the entire Idolish cast so far, I think I am a mixture of all three of my favorite characters. Um, Tin, Sugo, and Momo. I'm all three of them all together. So I really enjoyed this episode. So that little drama, is squashed, and Zool starts to act right, and they continue to carry on with the TV show. And then after that fact, we have the managers meeting up and talking about what happened at the TV station, as well as Zool and their leader Toma, who's the more agreeable one out of this group, who's trying to make something out of the group. I don't think it's necessarily going to go anywhere, but in real life, I doubt it would. But this is a TV show, so who knows? They might be by the end of this, change their ways and friendship whole. But I kind of don't want them to go that route. But anyways, so Tom was all like, "Hey, let's get together and eat." And you know, Minimosuke, the blonde hair guy, and the pretty boy, they are like, "No, we ain't trying to do all this. We just here for the money. We just here for the check. We just here for the ride." And the youngest one, the little green hair boy, who teen angst and attitude, I'll stay and I'll eat. And Toma was so cute. He was so happy. Like, you gonna stay? And but Toma does give green hair boy, some wisdom, some words of advice. Like, we've already been told that our group is not going to last much longer. And on top of that, you have these goals now, but what about after? Okay, let's say you achieve your revenge. Let's say you become as good and as big as Zero. Then what? Life is going to go on after all of this. So what else are you aspiring to? So, Toma is the more agreeable one out of the whole Zool cast or group. And his attempts to form camaraderie are cute. Don't know if it's really going to go anywhere. Then, then we have this small scene with Nagi getting gifts before he departs. Then, um, Sogo and Tamaki are headed to his father's house. Then on to episode 23. Now, episode 23, it was so cute and so emotional with Sogo. We finally have um, a moment of growth and somewhat resolution for Sogo, who's been kind of put on the back burner since all this started. But he confronts his father, and essentially he fails because at the end of the last episode, he's all like, "What you here for? Money? How much?" That's usually how parents are. Like, what you want, you back what you want. That's just how parents are. Okay, but their interaction is simply that, okay, oh, you want money? Well, these are the terms of you getting this money. You're going to come back up under my tutelage, under my house, and do what I tell you to do in order for you to have this money. And, you know, at first, Sogos is agreeing, but, he finds some courage and he's all like, no, this is what I want, and this is what I like, and this is why I like it. And Daddy wasn't trying to hear that, and essentially, tries to throw him out of the house. But Sogo resists, and he's like, "Oh, is that how we doing this? You assaulted my butler. You assaulted my butler, and I'm calling the police. And they're gonna take Tamaki, not Sogo, who did the act, Tamaki away." And Tamaki's all like, "Huh? What the heck is going on? None of this happened. What are you talking about?" And he's all like, "Yeah, Tamaki is you know, not stupid, but kind of he's not used to this type of manipulation and bullying and tactics. Now, I am. Which is why I really like this episode and really can identify with Sogo because I literally have a parent just like Sogo's dad. I really do, but who does this type of manipulation and bullying to try to get you to do a certain thing or act a certain way. But he's all like, no, and he's all like, no, it is just stay calm, Tamaki, and let me handle this. Let me do this. And I'm telling you, this episode is so much like my life. But anyways, so Tamaki stays there, and Solo heads to the radio station because uh, his dad, out of pride for himself and trying to not making himself look bad, allows him to go because like, let it not be said that the Osaka clan uh, has ever missed a day of work or has ever done anything out of character or out of pocket. So Sogo goes to the radio station. Sogo goes to the radio station, and Tamaki and his dad are having a little come to Jesus moment and listen to the radio station. And Sogo, expresses his feelings like, I don't know who I am. I'm alone. I don't know what I in all of this. He's just telling his feelings. And before he starts, and he says that one of my inspirations was a trigger song for his group with Mezzo and Tamaki, and he plays this song from Trigger Silent Night, or I think it's Silent Night, I forget, but it was very cute, and he gets so much. And after the radio show broadcast ends, uh, the producer of the radio shows are like, "That was good. That is going to go down in y'all history of, and you're going to have drinks over it later." And I don't think Sogo really realizes all of this now, what he really just did, but he comes to the understanding of his bravery and his, just being speaking out and telling how he feels. He gathered so much support from his fans and from the people that love him. And while this is going on, back at the house, Tamaki's all is taking his dad to task and telling him about himself. Like, you're nothing but a bully. You're nothing but a bully, and you're the embarrassment. Your son has never been an embarrassment to anyone. You're the embarrassment in how you've been acting. So Tamaki for the win and all of this. And so Tamaki pulls up outside of the radio station with all of the fans from Mezzo and Sogo, and um, Sogo is shocked. He's surprised, like, "What are you doing here?" And he's telling them like, "Your dad is going to have the documents ready for you to sign." And he's like, "Huh? What?" And then all it took was a little bit of courage, right? And at the end of this episode, we see where Sogo goes back to Trigger and tells him like, "I got a personal loan for y'all to put on a concert." And the ending song was so cute. It was so cute. I like the bunnies and the birds and the soft palette colors and the blue. It was so cute. I really enjoyed these two episodes of Idolish. It was just adorable. Okay, so Mob episode 9 called Moving. And in this episode, we find out that Tsubomi is moving away. So every guy in the school essentially is trying to shoot their shot for this girl, and honestly, I don't understand it because y'all a little too little, too late. Y'all just gonna have to bury those feelings and emotions because I'm not seeing how confessing now is really going to do much of anything but give you kudos to yourself. But anyways, Mob is among the group. And I thought then there's this scene where it's like a conveyor belt of these guys going to Sabomi and getting rejected. But anyways, so yeah, Mob is among the people that wants to confess his feelings to Sabomi because he feels as she is very special to him. We don't know if this is the same thing for her. But he's talking to his friends and trying to get advice, in which most of them are clueless about, even Reagan. uh, Reagan is silly. But anyways, and so he gathers the courage to do this, and and the advice from his friends, because we get a flashback of him, Tsubomi, being one of the first or people to make him feel comfortable about his powers or want to use them, seemingly, supposedly. But so he's on his way to talk to Tsubomi after gathering this courage to meet up with her after school. He's got his flowers, and he's waiting at the crosswalk, and gets hit by a car, seemingly. Now, seemingly. But I love Mom so much because he, at the ending, the very ending scene of this episode, he uses his powers for an animal, something that doesn't have the wherewithal or know better, to save it. But for that human, the little boy on his game, he puts himself on the line to save him. And all we see is a pool of blood at the end. So now, is Mom all right? Yes. But what's going to happen next episode? What's going to happen next episode? I am these this past week has been really good anime watching for me.